Guardiola is cooking something, and I'm excited to see what this recipe can deliver because it looks intriguing and there's a clear common thread that's running through the players Manchester City have already signed and as well as are targeting this summer. Rayan Ait-Nouri in particular has a particular set of skills. Sound like Liam Neeson off taken there, but he does have a very particular set of skills that he can use against opposition. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about his contract situation as well, because there is a unique clause in there as well that I'm not sure everyone's aware of, but it will be factored in when Manchester City enter into negotiations with Wolves. And it's exciting, this player, because we haven't had a left back for a long time. When's the last time we had a proper out-and-out left-back? And this guy is an out-and-out left-back. He's actually got a bit of versatility to his name as well, because he has played through the middle for Algeria, but we'll talk about more of what his qualities are and how he's going to deliver that for Manchester City, and I'm excited. But let's have a look at his contract situation first of all, because he was originally sold from SEO Angers to Wolves for 11 million euros, but they included a 50% sell-on clause in the negotiations. So if Wolves were to sell him for 50 million, SEO Angers immediately get 25 million if that clause was to continue in the contract. But they included a buyout fee. So Wolves can flat out just buy their way out of that clause and just pay SEO Angers 9 million straight away, just pay their way out of it. So here's 9 million, you can forget the 50% sell-on clause. Of course they're going to do that, but Manchester City need to factor that in. So whatever we give Wolves, they're immediately going to have to lose 9 million pounds of that to pay their way out of this 50% sell-on clause. So we have to factor that in. When we pay 50 million, they're actually only getting 41 million, even though we're paying 50. So that will be factored into the negotiations. But we've been reasonably good with negotiations with Wolves. We got Núñez, not on a great price, but considering Tommy Doyle went the other way and there's clauses involved in his contract as well. So there's negotiations that have happened in the past with Wolves and Manchester City. But what about Rayan Ait-Nouri? What is he actually going to deliver to this Manchester City side? Because he is an incredibly exciting attacking prospect player that I can't wait to see more of if he was to sign for Manchester City. Now, just to remind you, Wolves' formation, they play that 3-4-3 system that we've seen quite a few teams try and adopt this season. Rayan Ait-Nouri's got that familiar position of playing left wing back. He has played left back in a flat back four this season under Gary O'Neill earlier this season, so he can play in a traditional left back position. So let's have a look at his actual numbers, looking at his attacking qualities in particular, and now comparing him to the best left backs per their rating in the league this season. I think Newcastle fans might throw in there that Lewis Hall is probably their preferred left back choice this season, but I've thrown Livramento in there because he has played some reasonable minutes for Newcastle this season, and he's also a Manchester City target to potentially play on the other full-back position, so worth throwing him in there as well. But let's have a look at the actual attacking qualities of Rayan Ait-Nouri. As you can see, goals and assists, top of the pile. Absolutely killing it, sensational. And he's actually fourth. When you compare him to all of the defenders in all of the big 5 European leagues, Rayan Ait-Nouri is fourth, which is an incredible achievement, considering he's actually ahead of the likes of Hakimi, Frimpong, Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's ahead of all of them. You know what I mean? So Rayan Ait-Nouri is absolutely killing it in the attacking department. And I'm excited to see the potential of what he could do in a Manchester City side. Factor that in, because this isn't a Wolves side, don't forget. But let's have a look at his creativity, focusing on key passes now in particular. Top of the pile again with key passes, which is really interesting because I do think he's got more of a threading the eye of a needle type pass to his game rather than crosses. I think a lot of people are hoping to see a fullback that can whip that ball in. He is going to cross the ball. I don't think he's going to be crossing it quite to the likes of Kerkez and Robinson. He's not that type of fullback. He's more of a driver and a cutback type fullback, one with a cute pass to his name, threading the eye of the needle, like I said. And as you can see with the crosses, he's actually third on this list behind Anthony Robinson and Milos Kerkez in terms of crosses per 90 minutes against the other 6 fullbacks. So he is going to cross the ball. He's miles ahead of Josko Vardiol. So we are going to get a player that's willing to cross the ball. And a lot of those are actually from the corners, as you can see just to the right of that cross column, that he likes to take a few corners as well, which is something we've been missing. A delivery into the box from a corner would be nice if it's on the money, because Manchester City have been lacking that in quality for quite some time, really. We haven't had a good corner taker at this club for a while now. But looking at his overall creativity, as you can see here, shot creating actions per 90, top of the list. Goal creating actions per 90, top of the list again. Rayan Ait-Nouri is a sensational attacking talent, to the point where I actually think we could see him playing ahead of Vardiol. We could keep Vardiol playing in his traditional position on the left of Manchester City's defence and actually play Rayan Ait-Nouri ahead of him on occasions. I'm not saying that'll be a common occurrence. I actually think he's more suited to being a left back and an attacking one at that. But still, I do think there's an option there to actually play him as an out-and-out winger. He is that good going forward. Now, this is the common thread. This is the reason Manchester City is signing. This is the common denominator that we've found in Manchester City's wide players in recent times, in particular Savinho and Doku. Now you can add Rayan Ait-Nouri to that list, because here you can see take-on attempts for Rayan Ait-Nouri, top of the list by quite some distance, nearly 4 attempts per game. And a really aggressive dribbler, no nonsense, get the ball and I'm attacking you with dribbling ability to die for, mate. And I'm excited to see. Now, again, you compare him to the rest of the big 5 European leagues against other defenders that have that same ability. He is second in terms of take-on attempts versus all of those defenders in the big 5 European leagues. And you can see there's been a clear attention to players that like to take on their players. There is clearly an intention to beat the fullback. And this is shown here in the big 5 European leagues for the number of take-on attempts from midfielders now. And Savinho and Jeremy Doku are in the top 5 in terms of attempts over the previous 2 seasons. And both of those players play for Manchester City. Now, what does this mean? Is Pep Guardiola now neglecting control? He's just abandoning his philosophies and going for ball-carrying players, dribblers, sensational wizards, electric players that just beat everybody and worm their way through towards goal? Absolutely not. Pep Guardiola will be focused on having the first third and the middle third being completely the same. The build-up play, the control in midfield will be exactly the same, but the final third now has a requirement where you have to be creative in the sense of dribbling ability. Go past your fullback. Haaland is waiting in the box. How are we going to get that ball to him? With an incredibly low block, with avenues so thin to thread balls through. How do you find Haaland? You get to the byline and you cross it in. You hope he times his run properly. Beating that centre-back, get to the near post and build that chemistry with Doku, with Savinho or Rayan Ait-Nouri if we were to sign him. Create that chemistry, that bond between the wing players where you know where you're going to go. Get into the box in accurate positions where you can just get yourself multiple tap-ins, a multitude of tap-ins over the course of the season, and go back to being a tap-in merchant and get those accusations where he gets a hat-trick a game and they were all from 3 yards out thanks to the wing play of either Savinho, Doku or Rayan Ait-Nouri. It will be sensational if it comes off, and that's the clear approach here from Pep Guardiola, abandoning the likes of ball retainers like Jack Grealish, Bernardo Silva, who go out wide and have the ball stick to them. Recycle it, sending it back inside. That is what people have been bored with. And people are still calling Pep Guardiola boring, but they are neglecting the approach from Pep Guardiola. Clearly, he's trying to target new players. And I'm excited to see what this can actually turn into. Now, what are his defensive attributes like? I think he's quite middling. There's a myth out there that Rayan Ait-Nouri is brilliant going forward and he can't defend. That's the terminology I keep hearing. He just can't defend because we live in this cuckoo land of absolutes. Everything's definitive. You're either brilliant at this or absolutely crap at this. He's average at defending, to be honest. He's not like he can't defend. He absolutely can defend. Tackling interceptions, as you can see, he's middle of the road compared to these other players. Now, obviously, he's in the Wolves side, so he's going to have more defending to do, but he is still ahead of the likes of Guardiola, Kirkes and Livramento. And when you compare that to his percentiles in terms of tackles, when you break down what he's actually good at as a defender, and you look at the percentiles for tackles, he's in the top 18% in the big 5 European leagues for tackles per 90 minutes, which is really, really good. Not bad at all. Interceptions, very low. He doesn't read the game very well. His blocks, okay. Clearances, poor. Aerial duels, very poor. A one-on-one dueler, I think we have got that. He can tackle. He absolutely can. I think he can deliver in the defensive department. It's just what he offers going forward might outweigh the negatives that he brings in defence. I think he's going to be sensational. I think he's going to create so many opportunities for Manchester City and goals in particular. We need to see him link up with Erling Haaland, but we've got to get the deal done first because don't forget there is that unique contract situation that Manchester City have to factor in. But I'm excited to see what he can bring. I'm excited, but are you? Let me know your thoughts, like and subscribe to Typical City, and I'll see you in the next one.
This is Typical City.